Hello, how's it going, everybody? It is time to talk about some beta shortcuts. Oop, 1 second, my door's open. All right, 1 sec. Had it propped closed. How y'all doing? Say hello if you are in the chat. I should be live on Twitch, and I think I even went on Twitter now that I gotta double check that. Hope everybody's doing well. We're gonna have some fun building some shortcuts today. So got beta stuff on the way, reminders lists, Safari tabs. There's some couple fixes for the notes ones and everything from the last betas. So I'm gonna give people a couple minutes just to get in here. So starting off, I'm curious what everybody wants to use for Safari tabs, because you can now find tabs in shortcuts and get all of that URLs and web pages that you have open and automate doing something with that. So start dropping your ideas in the comments and I'll basically just build them live, because that's how we do it with shortcuts. All right, it looks like some people are here. Hello. Antonio, Brian, Aiden, I am Dahan, Bill, Kelly. I don't know how to say Fidinigis. I'm going to go with that. But yeah, nice to see you all. I haven't streamed in a while, so I'm like having those like first 5-minute things where you're like, oh my God, I'm live right now, but that's all right. We'll get through it together. I'm making sure. Let me know if is this on Twitter? If anybody can check. Oh, okay. I'm totally on Twitter. Okay, cool. Perfect. That works for me. I guess everybody can just jump in from Twitter too. So I'm going to get started now. After we're done, look for chapters in the time. There'll be timestamps where you can skip through and get to the different sections of what we're building. So let me just jump in here and let's get started. All right. Oh, wrong one. This one. So we're going to be working with today. Oh, wait. That one. Switch back. iPad here. I got a little universal control setup going. So my cursor is on the iPad. And then I can go, it's like technically off to the side, and now I'm over here in that Mac window in the background that you can see. So I can kind of switch between platforms. Pretty fun setup that I got going. Ooh, Restream is not, this widget is only displaying them for a second, but that's all right. Fire Department, City of New York, Geographic Information Systems. Wow, that is cool. Welcome. Let's see how we can figure something out for you. I don't know. That sounds cool. Hello, astronomy freak. There we go. Wow, I can't read that in real time. Richard, and then Antonio again. Okay, Aiden has one. Create a markdown list of hyperlinks using the current tabs. Perfect. All right, let's just jump right into that. So I have back here in the corner, you can see my little shortcuts catalog, and I got the shortcuts for all of the iOS 16 betas up. Then over here on my iPad, I have a couple of just starter shortcuts. I literally ran these and then stopped touching them because I didn't want to know what it was like. I want you all to just see what it's like for me to figure this out in real time. So just find tabs, let's just run it, see what it does. Oh wait, you know what? It might help if it was open on this. Let me, I probably should have done some more testing. Let me just close my tabs real quick. I think if I unplug this, it'll just go away. I just don't want to, I don't know, security wise. Close all tabs. There's no option. How y'all doing today? Playing around, who's got the public beta installed? I feel like it's like decently stable now, and shortcuts actually seems like what, Antonio, you can do the crash counter, see how many times shortcuts crashes. Okay, I got that all fixed up. Let me bring that scene back in. Sorry about that. there'll be timestamps. Okay, here we go. Just do MatthewCassinelli.com. I swear I'm not just trying to plug my website. It's just my thing. So, okay, back onto the iPad. Find tabs. This should get just my website. I did notice in my testing that it doesn't get anything from the non-active tab group, but I already thought of a way to deal with that, so we'll get to it in a second. So basically, get all the tabs. Why don't we just go back over and just open each of these. Shortcuts library, back to that page. Control tab to switch tabs, member shortcuts, action directory. This doesn't look fantastic on the iPad. Maybe I'll work on that later. So I've got my 4 tabs there. Run this. You can see the 4 tabs in the list. This view apparently doesn't like to switch in this current beta. Maybe if I swipe, if I use my hands. Using the trackpad on universal control doesn't let you select or just the trackpad at all. So feedback. We got to have a feedback tracker and a shortcuts crash tracker, but we'll see. Okay, create a markdown list of hyperlinks using the current tabs. So I would say I'm going to do 2 tests. First, I think if I just put this straight in, you'd have to, because you're working with multiple items, sometimes if I just put in like the tabs down here, and then try to see, this looks like it might break in a future beta because it's not fully integrated yet. Okay, there's the titles. But I think if I tried to do Markdown like this, it would just create a giant chunk that wouldn't actually be what we want. So here I'm changing the parameters of this output so I can get all the URLs. Yeah, see, that definitely doesn't work. It makes all the titles and then all that. And so I knew that was going to happen. I just wanted to show you what would happen if you just do that. So when you have a list of items that you need to work with, you actually usually need to repeat with each of those items and then one by one do something with it and then recombine them. So let me just do this again and demonstrate how now that we're working with just a single item at once, you put in what's called the repeat item. And this is an automatic variable that appears only when you're inside the repeat loop. And then I'll put it again there. And then change that second one to the URL. Come on, shortcuts. I'm clicking, but it's not responding super fast. Change that to the title. And now we'll repeat through. And then now we have Markdown links for each of them, but it's again in just a list, or what's also called an array. So when you do that and you want to put them onto new lines, you combine text like that. And then it'll combine the repeat results by new lines. So even, that's a weird way to display them. But the other thing that you'll want to do with Markdown, what's tab like the original? I think that's just the default type. Antonio's asking in the chat about what's tab a number. And sometimes shortcuts is weird. Like this might just be the fact that this is currently a beta. In theory, the tab probably would be, I don't know, a tab as a content type hasn't existed before. So I'm not totally sure. I can run that again and check. But let's just finish this part out first. And then the other thing you need is, I guess I don't remember what's the proper markdown, but a little star to indicate a list item. And then when you get to the end, you have an ordered list of your links. And so you could also then say like links from current date, and then do that. Drop your combined text in there. Whoa, my variable disappeared. That seems like a bug. even make that into the full Markdown setup then. And then you could do, if you really wanted to even skip the Markdown and go, or not skip, but convert it fully into rich text, then you can have a full set of links. Why do the hyphens don't work very well? That looks like a bug as well. It's like number 4 now, I feel like. So there's a pretty quick way to get all your current tabs. And then, I mean, Notes also now has the ability to add rich text into Notes. So this is where you would want to convert it before adding it. Let me even just do show note. I do just know some of these actions, so sorry. I think that's one of the hard things about shortcuts is you don't know what to search for, but I do now that I've done it all. So you can also find them in the full list. Open note. Where did it go? There it is. Apparently I haven't used it on this in this version. Sure. So there you go. Save all of your links right away. Yeah, the preview text is centered. That's a really good point. I was wondering why that was happening. They should maybe get rid of that. Okay, there we go. That is capture all your tabs. So that was an awesome, great start. Capture tabs to Notes. So here's a philosophical question. I go with yellow for Notes, but then I use blue for Safari. Should it be, or it's actually this one. Should it be Safari or a Notes color? This is where I never know. We'll just do that for now. We're working with Safari, so I think that might be more helpful. One that I saw from Tim Chatton, who does the iPad Pros podcast, is he wanted to filter the links that don't contain a certain URL. So like, sorry, I had to process that there. I was like, I got to make sure. So let's just do something from Mac Stories. I do have a feature in Shortcuts that you can get the image of a map. I still haven't written. Oh, I guess I already opened it. Wow, that was fast. You can get the image of a map location in Shortcuts, and you never were able to do that before. So maybe we can do something fun with that. But now I have 4 tabs for my website and 1 that isn't. So this is actually good. It's like save all the tabs except mine. I would just integrate this probably into another shortcut, but okay, find tabs. Ooh, I'm watching myself live on Twitter now over in the corner. So, I guess it would have to be in the title. I guess it could be in the URL. Does not contain. Come on, auto caps. That's pretty good. That's just a good filter, I guess, you could add into. I thought that was going to be a more complicated shortcut, but it's already done. So, okay, that one makes sense. I feel like saving that tab. So the other thing I remembered was how to get something out of a specific tab group. So let me just go check up here. I think I just have like, okay, let's find a good tab group that only has a couple. Here, I got 2 YouTube links open in there. So in iOS 16, you can also, I'll just save that one and start another one again. It's tab group. Let me just make sure I'm going through this way so you guys can all find it. Sorry about my mic positioning. I need to get, okay, that should be better. Oh yeah, I just noticed this actually earlier. I hadn't even noticed this before the stream. Bookmarks. You can get all your bookmarks. So that's pretty fun. I feel like this is another thing we could build in a second. Gotta go blue. There's definitely some stuff that's broken in these. Like where are the abilities to filter by the bookmark groups and things like that are kind of missing. I noticed that too with reading list. Let me just open that. Hey, what's up, Dragon Dust? Over on Twitch. You. We are working with Safari and reading list and everything. So I noticed one thing. Was it there? This is finding lists, which didn't seem right. And I have so many that, or like, yeah, I only have one list. So I don't know what that means. I feel like this is a hint at a new feature that's coming, like Safari lists. Sorry, I keep looking over at my window over there, but I need to look up here. I keep looking, there's no multiple lists. So like if you could create multiple reading lists and then pull from them, I feel like that would make a lot of sense. So I feel like this is like a leak. Get 9to5Mac to write it up right now. Just kidding. But also I might write it up on my own website because it is kind of cool. I feel like there's something interesting going on there. And then this does have the same kind of filters. So you can kind of tell it's not supposed to say reading list app intense. So I have a feeling that means it's broken. But those will, crash number 1. That's actually, to be fair, not too bad for already streaming for what, like 20 minutes or something. I feel like I used to get crashes like any time I had add an action. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. Let's get back to reading list. This also I noticed for me in particular, when I first load the Shortcuts app, it takes a while to filter these actions. And I think some from like, I told a couple developers that their stuff is crashing because it's having trouble loading the list of actions. Okay. Let me get back. See, it said find reading list items. So I'm not really sure. I guess I might not actually be able to even use this one. I do think this looks broken. Yeah, I have way too many shortcuts. Oop. This universal control setup is going crazy. Yeah, I definitely have a lot. I mean, part of it is that you can see, oh, here's reading list items actually showed up. Text workflow, Fortnite creators. See, okay, maybe that one actually is working. Part of the problem is I get one set of actions and I've already created like more shortcuts than some people have in their entire collection. Reading list. Okay, let's see if that works. 5 lists. What? That's still so weird to me. Last time I ran this, it just sat here. So I feel like I'm not going to stay too long. Okay, yeah, that's not going anywhere. Yeah, I think it's getting my entire reading list, and there needs to be filters for like unread. There needs to be the ability to mark as read. And I saw Becky Hansmeyer was asking to be able to just remove an item from a list. Yeah, see, perfect example. I have about 5. Totally true. And that's to be expected. Like, just to be fair, I don't know. I feel like I always say this, but I used to work at Workflow on this app. And so I have built my own gallery of shortcuts and I have like a whole extreme setup. So nobody should be expected to have this many. I'm trying to do this so you can just get more and try to just play with them. Okay, so we got those bookmarks. Those aren't really helpful in that with these current filters. So maybe we can save that one for later. I totally got sidetracked from the tab group thing. That was what it was. Okay. Nope. You can create tab groups, add into all these. The interesting one was find tab groups, which is like, I appreciate this, but I almost don't necessarily need it. Part of it is it just gives you the title of the tab groups, but you can kind of filter that, which is nice. So the way that I would do it, choose from list. Which group do you want to open? Open tab group. Another way you can just do this, the reason why I said this might not be totally necessary, is if you just get rid of this, go in here, and instead tap and hold, which I think they should add. And they're adding it. It was in other menus, but this should be more prominent because you can just have it prompt each time which group. And then this will pull in the parameters automatically. So like that's the exact same thing. But also like you could filter by like, I don't know, tab groups that don't include the word shortcuts. So I don't necessarily like if somebody has a particular use where they might take advantage of that, now's the chance because I can just build it for you. But tying this into the other tab thing is, okay, so that's just a simple way to open tabs with the new find capability. Oops, is that in there? So I would just, if you want to get tabs from a specific tab group, you basically just have to open that group first. I'll put a timestamp to this point back to when I originally said it. So then find tabs. And I think tab groups are supposed to sync now. I saw someone saying that, yeah, which is cool. I mean, that's kind of the point in general, but I don't think they always did. So now, okay, wait, let's make sure it's not already active. So this is the method to get tabs from a tab group that's not currently open. Oh, I guess it literally opens the tab. It does still work. That makes sense. Maybe not as much. Tab group. Okay. Here is where this is where I think I had this realization and I was like, ooh, this is fun. They have the ability to set focus modes with these shortcuts, and you can also set a focus filter, and I couldn't actually figure out why you would need to automate part of this process, but now this is a perfect example. You do it just for like 1 second. That's funny. For the video focus, you turn it on. Then, this is so roundabout. Set the focus, and it'll change it in the background instead of opening it. And then, I have a lot of focuses. Turn videos on. Find the tabs. Oh wait, this we got to make sure it's the right. Set it in videos. Oh, here it is. I forgot this. This is because the words are missing. It's kind of confusing right now. Turn on while in videos. And then I guess I don't necessarily need to turn it off because I do want this to be connected, but it's like a weird way to automate your ability to set those filters. And now I just turn it off. I still actually do want that, so I don't want to clear it, but that's just in case it's not set yet. Or wait. That was so fast, and I think it might have worked. Turn videos on. Wait 1 second. But like because the turn videos thing is there. Okay. This is a hacky way to do this. It totally works. And then now I'm back in here. Oh, it doesn't default back to the tab group, but I could just change it here. Or I'd have to duplicate this, set it when in, there's no default. I guess the other thing is that you can physically change the tab group. Well, this would take you back, but I just want to let people know it's a Safari view, I think is what it is. Oh, that's a new thing too. It putting the actions where you last interacted with them instead of at the bottom automatically. That is actually pretty nice. There. So it will physically open that at that point, but if you wanted to take it back, you could do that. So this is the janky way to turn it on and back off real quick and grab tabs from a different tab group that you're not in. Oh wait, let me just double check to make sure it wasn't just a fluke. It did fluke. I just happened to be in that tab group. Turn them on. Turn on focus filter, set focus filter while in videos. Oh, this one got cleared. I've been defeated. It's not working. Turn videos on. Turn on while in videos. It might just be like too quick. I'm going to try this a couple more times and then maybe this isn't actually possible. I thought this was going to work. I mean, I think I'm maybe just trying to get around the fact that there needs to be a which tab group is it? That could just be easily fixed. Give it a second. Oh, that time it worked. Did I do it again? Just again, if you're ever a programmer, that's exactly what it's like. Yep, I just happened to do it wrong in the background. All right, well, that doesn't work. Okay, that is just a workaround. I wanted to see if that could happen. I was too excited. I thought if you could change a tab group without opening it, I feel like that's actually something that nobody wants except for me in this one situation. And so it would be confusing to have that. So, oh well. Are there alternatives to the wait command? Not really. That's kind of like a shortcuts on iOS does foreground everything. And sometimes some stuff can benefit from being delayed a second because it does actually shortcuts can skip through actions so fast that it just turns it on and off in a split second, and it really did need a second to change in the background. It's maybe just because iOS wasn't totally built for this. I do think it's a little bit more reliable on the Mac, but you can give shortcuts a lot of work instead. I don't know exactly what that means, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely, there's not really a way to force something else to happen. That is just kind of because iOS wasn't necessarily built for this as much, some stuff does just take a second to delay, and you can kind of get around it by just waiting. And that's actually something that I don't know if you're a programmer or not, but I didn't know this because I never learned programming. I just learned shortcuts essentially. Is that's what programmers do, is they literally just wait a second and then it's fine. And it's oh, okay. You just need to delay it or you could do half a second too, or something like that. But it just kind of depends. So that one is a failure, but that's also how it goes. I do think, again, they could fix it by adding a filter here for where the tab group contains, and then that's also where you could find the tab groups and get just the one that you want and put it in there and everything. So this is get tabs from separate tab group. Ooh. Cool. How's everybody doing? I feel like I just shot through that at 100 miles an hour. So those are some basic tab things. Let me just think. I guess the other thing, I didn't really get to the point of, if you are willing to take it a step further and maybe not have it be as automatic, you can just open the tab and then wait to return in shortcuts. So find tabs, and then it was open tab group. I guess that was the answer that I just didn't even totally give for this one. Are there alternatives to the wait command? Yes, there's wait to return. And so that's where you can literally go in, and if something has to happen where you open an app and like maybe even copy text to your clipboard, then it can just sit there waiting for you to come back. And once you actually enter shortcuts again, then it'll execute it. So let me just make sure we're not in that. I don't think you can make it return to shortcuts. Or maybe I guess it could wait 1 second and then return to shortcuts. Oh, now my stream is up. Oh my gosh. That went crazy. Find tabs, and there that goes. Let me just try that actually. I don't think I've ever thought to do that. Wait to return and then just have it bring me back after a second. I don't know why that wouldn't make sense. One area that I've noticed that this doesn't work as well on is on the Mac, because Shortcuts is technically already open, and so it doesn't have, like on the iPad, it switches back to Shortcuts, and then you're suddenly like, oh, you've returned, you can continue. But if it on the Mac, it doesn't have as similar foregrounding as obviously. Let's just see. I guess that'll, no matter what, it'll work, but yeah, wait to return. You know what? Actually, I see. Wait to return precedes the wait. So it can't actually, it doesn't continue it to wait. Okay, never mind. So I lied. Don't ignore that. Just remove that from your memory. Okay, I got a couple more questions. Let me answer some of these. Yeah, okay. I'll just bring this one on screen first. There is no do while in Shortcuts, and that is definitely something that a lot of programmers want. It's like a switch statement, isn't it what it's called? It's just like, do this until you reach this case, otherwise. It's like the if action, but just more dynamic. This was something that I felt like they wanted to add when it was workflow, and then we got acquired, and I haven't seen anything since then. And so I don't know if this just isn't a priority, or if it's like, I don't know how it would look. Like, that's a weird thing about like programming. You can kind of, you have like the code and everything, but how it actually works in Shortcuts, I don't necessarily know. I'm also not a programmer, so I don't know switch statements at all. So I literally can't imagine it as well. But I do know that there's times where I run into that. Like, you can nest if statements until you get to the right case, but if you had 5 different ones of those, you get really confused really quickly. So that is another feedback thing that they should add for power users. Yeah. Oh, just the conditional loops? Okay. So you can't, is that different than what I was just talking about? Okay, let me bring that one back up. You can't wait until something has a value or a file exists. Can't you? I mean, if you're in a repeat loop, you can do the thing where you set a value and then check for it at the beginning, but I don't necessarily know. This is probably where somebody like Rosemary could like translate for me. Another one. Okay, Oliver, can you share a link to the Save Your Tab note? Oh yeah, I'll definitely have the links in the description too. Pretty sure it works in the chat. Let me just get that one. That's a good point. That one was a solid. I mean, the simple one too. I should have just done another reading list. Here, let me get that. Good call. I'll have to see if my auto mod stuff blocks me from doing links though. How do I comment in my own chat? I don't think this is going to show up on Twitch, but it'll be in the YouTube link. Okay, let's see if that goes through. So yeah, there you go. That one works. Cool. Let me duplicate that one as well. You don't even need to repeat through all these if you just want to add them all to reading list. This is kind of what I was talking about at the very beginning of the stream. If you have like a list of 5 items and it says add URL, you don't need to repeat through all of these and add each one to reading list in a row. You can just add them all in one chunk and it should work. So save all tabs to reading list. Partially, yeah, like Oliver, if you do want, I'll like clean these up and add comments and everything and put them on my website too once I'm done with this. So I'll distribute like a nicer version. And of course, it's got to have a good icon, you know? You can't just have the shortcuts icon. Okay, here's that one as well. In shortcuts, you can only do loops with a fixed number of iterations unless you use recursion. Yeah, that's pretty much, I think it's just like complicated to get into all of that level, and that's definitely something they need to solve soon. I think they just need to like get it working on the Mac and everywhere else here. So I feel like that's the whole deal. Yeah, Oliver, thanks for checking it out. All right, either some other simple ones that I'm going to use. Universal control. Okay, there we go. I don't know if anyone else uses universal control, but sometimes I'll literally be on an iPad and I'll be like, I'll like lose track of my cursor and can't find it. And it's like stuck because it can't get to the right, like perfect arrangement, and it hits the bottom of the window. It's pretty funny. Find tabs. Instapaper. See, this is my problem, is I just make duplicates. I mean, my plan is really like, you will probably use one of these and not all three. Let me just see if this can authorize already. That is actually pretty nice for security reasons to not have to click through and type in my passwords. Although I guess now you know I have a Gmail account. Ah, that's broken. Well, that one's not going to work. Oliver, that's hilarious. Okay, I just, here, let me get that out of there. I've been trying to find a play everywhere shortcut for the longest time, and I just looked at your example. So I didn't realize it was like not obvious to me at first. You just add multiple and use it. I'm actually making a YouTube video this weekend about that set of shortcuts in particular, because it's kind of weird and like you wouldn't know it if you didn't actually try it. Even the description doesn't really explain that. Let me just find that real quick just for people so they can know, because this is actually a pretty fun shortcut. It should be on here. Maybe it's further back. Oh no, did I just break all my posts? I've been changing my website and is that URL wrong? I took out the www and it destroyed so much. Oh, that's the worst. Okay, I'll get that fixed. That's not good. That's why making your own website isn't always the best idea. Here it is. So speaker groups, you can basically just go in and do just add. That's all you need. And you can just like play across your whole house and stuff like that. Dragon Dust. How many of mine do I use on a regular basis? I definitely use a lot of them. I definitely don't use all of them because I just have so many. The ones I'm using the most are definitely the ones that I use for work, like stuff for my own, like publishing these shortcuts or writing for iMore or making YouTube videos, doing these streams, my newsletter and stuff like that. I have a lot more that I'm trying out and like learning, and I just kind of go and build full categories for like different specific things. And so that's where it does kind of get out of hand, but I'm kind of just like exploring a lot more too. But when I need them, I love having a shortcut that I already built, and I'm just like, oh, nice. I can just do that. Need to combine images. I need to do like title case or dictate text, stuff like that. I've built a shortcut for everything. So a big thing, let me just switch to the Mac one real quick. That I'm about to share. It's just like it's hard to get this perfectly right, but I have the Stream Deck and I have folders for all of these. And so this actually makes it a lot more accessible for me to be able to go through and run all these shortcuts, because a lot of them are just a quick command and I'm like, oh, I need to do a design thing. Here it is. I just need to like access my recent photos, and I tap that and it does it real quick and stuff like that. So Stream Deck is in like demo mode right now, so it's not doing anything, but that's kind of how I use all my shortcuts. I have way too many though. Like that's definitely the problem, is that I like have all these techniques for like, how do you actually use all these shortcuts? I mean, a big thing too that I didn't show is I have dedicated home screens for each of these things as well. So it's kind of like a Stream Deck on the iPad. So that's this is something I'm going to share in my membership like in the next 2 weeks, because this is one of my biggest undertakings, that and the Stream Deck together. But see, there's still like some categories that are kind of out of whack. Let's jump back into Safari stuff. So let me see what else. I mean, saving even the links to the clipboard. Let's go back to that original one. I don't necessarily always want to put it in notes, and so just copying and pasting it somewhere else is another good technique. Like just put Markdown links onto the clipboard. I guess by new line would probably be it. Sorry about that. I just muted myself and then lost my sound control window. I was like, oh no. Okay, here we go. That's all good. Something that these don't work on the Mac right now, but I would like the ability to, because I would assign this as a keyboard shortcut. And so just at any point, grab all my tabs and put them on my clipboard. And like I've been using Control Option Command C, for example, because I usually don't hit all those keys. And so that'd be a good way to just like get all these links right away. And then you could just paste. And especially on the Mac, it should go in like a second. I think the main thing right now is a lot of these actions aren't working on Ventura, and I'm not really sure why. I don't know if they just haven't added them or it's going to be in a later beta, but right now you can't get the tabs, which is weird. Sort by. No, okay, I was going to say date. So another thing, okay, wait, just copy tabs. Maybe it's just like copy URLs is another alternate. Maybe even no text there. Yeah, there you go. That's good. Maybe there's something with like processing your URLs. Like I wonder if you could even, this is wild, I don't know why you would do it, but like append query commands like $Q equals, and then search things and just like search on 10 websites at once. Like you could. I don't know why you would have to do that with open tabs and not just a preset list of URLs. copy current URLs. Oh, I just realized I missed a comment a while ago and I didn't get back to it. I was totally going to. Sorry about that. Michael, is there an action for auto lock to change duration? I don't think so. Do you know about the URL to get to auto lock though? I think I have that. Man, that sucks. Sorry, that was a while ago. Here it is. Display path equals auto lock. I think I have this on my website, but I'll just post it directly in the chat too. There we go. Nice. Cool. I'm glad you're still here. I was like, oh no, he might have left. That was a bummer. Okay, cool. Yeah. Oh, I also missed Oliver's follow-up to the set playback thing. The fact that you can't set multiple with one action is weird. Yeah, it's like they didn't add a multiple select to that view or something. I'm not sure why. They should definitely add that. Okay, so I think it was filter out the current URLs was one that Tim wanted, including the current URL would be another one, like only get Mac Stories links or something like that. Save all tabs except mine. Save all. Where would you use that? This is like, I always got to get, like I can do it, but I'm trying to just think of a practical situation where like I always have these tabs open for, what do I use? Anybody else got specific situations where you always have tabs from like a certain link, like Google searches? I mean, keyword result search stuff is something that I thought about. Why don't I just build with some of these other Safari actions too? Because there is a lot more that you can do now that wasn't possible. And so that might spark some ideas. Because you can the bookmarks, you can create new tabs. I added this create new private tab for, I use that for keyword research because it prevents Google from customizing it based off of your signed in results. And so if I want to like look up, I don't know, shortcuts for Safari, I can see real Google search results, not the curated ones. Creating new tabs, opening tabs. You can, I didn't realize that. Open tab. Find tabs. No. Oh, look, we found one. So whenever you want to you have multiple and you want to get just one, you could filter it, but then you also choose from a list choose from a list. I can't believe I almost. Choose from menu lets you go down different pathways. Choose from list lets you choose from multiple options that are presented from you and just pick one. But you continue down the same path. So this is like a tab opener. I guess this could be helpful. I mean, if you have tons and tons of tabs, like that would be good. That's kind of nice. You could but if it's already opens the tab, I was going to say you could switch as you open it. Oliver, have you seen an action to create a quick note? Ask for text, then save to a quick note. With the current URL? Is that what you mean? Or just in general? So do a shortcut to search for a tab, then open it. Oh yeah, there it is. Oliver, follow up with that and I'll build it in a second. The find tabs, of course, it's a search. Where the title is, okay, so again, the same thing, you could ask each time in here, and then I didn't even know about the ability to include this prompt. What do you want to search for? That feels really weird though. So I'm going to do ask for input. What the? That's not what I... is got to contain. And then it's also URL. Okay, here's the trick then. I would probably type Mac stories, and that I'm assuming it's not case sensitive. So change the case. And then this is also in here in documents, text editing, change case. Cool, that works. Search tab URLs. I guess you could do search tab titles also. Or also maybe what a better way would be, it would be, do you want to search URLs or the title? This is where you would use choose from menu. Actually, probably up here. Do you want to search? So here is where you go down two different paths, depending on what you need. And then this option kind of changes. And this would have to be not the updated text. Go back to the provided input. And then it's show tab. Right? Open tab. They should have keywords for that. Oh, let me do it. Oh, I can move end menu up. That was something that they broke last year and they fixed again this year. And that's exactly right there where I need it, is because, well, not just because of the shortcuts not working at the end, but also because it's easier with the way that I'm trying to work with it and the menu results. Cool. I'm trying to, so in general, yeah, you can totally just create text and create a new note using the ask for input. It's just create note. So I have a couple of shortcuts that can do that, but let's work with those too. I think like working with URLs and the notes is a good idea. I mean, you could do something too interesting where you like capture tabs to the note, but actually give it a tag. Oh wait, can you not? There it is. This is something I haven't actually done a ton with link or notes. Okay, first of all, or no, I get. Oh wait, wrong one. Going back. Capture tab in notes. I guess if the tag doesn't already exist, you just have to create it. And there's no harm in including this every time because it's not going to create the same tag. Although, okay, let me just go in and add a tag. Tap and hold on the note. Cool. I just realized I might have to, no, it always will create a new note. You could keep adding to the same note over time. That's a good example. I would search in both the URL and title and then show a list to pick one. Choosing from a link. Can you send a link for what you're talking about, Antonio? Because I know that there are other ways to do this. I just don't I kind of do have my way of doing it. And so I don't necessarily, I can't exactly visualize that based off of what you just explained. But we were saying is adding to the same note could be an interesting one. I mean, just so you were saying, Oliver, you want, let's just go back to the original. An action to create a quick note. Basically ask for text and save to a note. Yeah, that would just be the same as the ask for input and then create note. And then I do think you could probably, if you stored in the quick notes folder, it'll work in that special popover. Although it might not let you choose it. Yeah, it doesn't let you. I wonder if you could move the notes. I think they just added that. Quick notes doesn't show up. Although, do I just not have quick notes? I might not. Sometimes if I get rid of them, it disappears. It's also like kind of janky in the beta. This could be something that they fix, and I would like it actually. So feedback, ding. So that's just to create like, what do you want your note to say? Hello. Boom. So that's pretty straightforward. But then you were, I mean, even like, was it about a link? Maybe that makes more sense. I think I was kind of like, I was missing that part. Because then you could totally get like find note or find tab. I see. Because you don't just want the tab. It would be like, which tab do you want? Here we go. This is more realistic. It's like, I just want to save a link from the browser. Or I could do multiple actually. I don't know if Siri, will she just butcher it if I do that? And then your note could just say like, come on. HC marks, I'll get you in just a second. Here is the tab, chosen tabs. We could do that whole repeat process. I'll just do it real quick. I feel like sometimes it can be laborious to do this or to do that level of process every time. But once you kind of get used to it and you know that this is what you need to do, it's not too bad. Tabs. You can even copy and paste these, which is nice. And in a second, Antonio, I can double check I don't think there's an actual tab format. I think that's just like the default. This whole thing could be like your note, your input could be the title, and then your combined stuff. So that way you could kind of name your note and then have a nice little link in there as well. Save tab as quick note. Cool. Good point. HC Mark. Okay, he's commenting on Twitch. This is not clear that I'm not just on Twitter. So yeah, I did not. I don't think I'm going to do Twitter in general. I just kind of threw that up, or it was built into Restream, so I should probably take that off. Thanks for tuning in if you're from Twitter. So you were saying, is it possible to pull the details of all the tabs in a tabs group and output to a text file, the titles and publish dates? That was exactly what I was going to get to next. Totally. This relies on the Safari reader actions. So they have, let me just pull this up. Sometimes these don't work, and so it's a guess whether or not this actually works during this stream right now. But let's just try. Find tabs. Why don't we just get one so we see what we're working with here? So as long as you just put in the URL, it'll like, it's kind of like, oh wait, let me see what tab this is. If it's not an article, it won't work. Okay, so it is an article. So it doesn't work.
It's supposed to be able to get that information, but I don't think it works right now. So this sounds like it's just a broken thing. So, but I would do it the same way. What I would do is I'd repeat with each through your tabs, get the article, and then instead of using this get detail as if you want to force just one item to show up, but what I would rather do that's a little more straightforward is just work with this article or variable here, and then you can extract the same information. So you would be like title, publish date, and if you really, I think, were you the one asking about a CSV also? Because you could literally put just comma separate your values, and then at the end you do set name as .csv on this whole list, and it becomes a spreadsheet. You could also just add it to numbers directly, but it's links.csv. By just saying .csv, it forces that file format. Okay, someone else was asking, but yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. A bibliography after writing a script, and I have a dedicated tab group, all the articles. Nice, that's great. That's a great example. And even just like opening them into one tab group means that later you could get all those out without having to utilize it, or without having to like switch back and forth. And then even like the bookmarks or reading lists or list of reading lists, if they actually add that was something I mentioned earlier in the stream. There's kind of hints in these actions that they'll have multiple lists, which could be cool. So that's how I would do that. This is probably just broken. I'll file this as feedback as well. That's like number 7 or something like that. So yeah, that would be scraping the article details out. And that's definitely a great use case. Get all articles for CSV. I hope that does get fixed. I think that's been broken for a while too, and it definitely needs to be. Let me just check Twitter. I didn't think that there would be replies. Here's one from the send an email to reminders. Okay. Corey Cronin, it's over here in the back. There isn't a way to, the mail app doesn't have a share sheet, so you can't actually share information out of it right now. There is a way you can have a shortcut automation from iOS pull in when you receive the email, but that's probably not what you're looking for. That's definitely something that they should be able to do, though. They should be able to. They added some mail actions like search mail, and I hope they do the ability to find mail, like that we were working with all this stuff, because people would use it. Probably the issue is the same thing that I'm having, where my reading list fails. If you try to pull in 10,000 emails into shortcuts, it's going to crash. And so they probably need to make just some way that it doesn't immediately like search your whole database, or like maybe it defaults to having that limit toggle on that it normally doesn't. Oh, I see. He was actually replying to the question too. Oh yeah. You can search mailboxes and stuff like that. Let me switch to show you all just these tweets where you can like open the different mailbox lists or the different reminders lists too, and create lists. So I haven't really gotten into some of that, so maybe we should switch to reminders too, because there is a lot that's fun. It's definitely not perfect for what you need with reminders too. So let's just dig in. So what time is it? It's been an hour. Cool. So what you were kind of seeing in that tweet was there's just a new action. These new 3 actions are what's in the current betas, but Open Smart List lets you open those different lists. I have noticed though, it doesn't let you open your own smart lists. So I hope that's something that they add. Let's do this. So I probably should have hidden that. Let me just say, I'll do an empty one. All right, just in general, and you don't need to see inside the smart lists, but like these are all ones I'm trying to do like an OmniFocus GTD type of thing, and I can't find these lists and open them, and I totally want that. But right now you can open like just your today list, which is something you haven't been able to before, which is kind of funny. The other thing that you can do with shortcuts is creating lists. Create list. Just by giving it a name. And again, that ask each time. What's the name? So like, I haven't personally found a situation where I'd be creating these yet. I guess part of it, they do have templates. Can you add to a template afterwards? Test. Because if I could just create the list by the proper name and then turn it into a template, where'd you go? No, that's just save as template. Interesting. Oh no, that's just I thought that was for the list itself. I was like, what is that? I mean, I think in general, reminders now, by even just being able to open your today list is now like more in tune with what you can do with shortcuts. And last year they added the ability to add all these tags. And so as long as you have those smart lists already, you can add shortcuts with those tags and they'll show up there. And then the other thing that I do think it is just interesting is like templates. So like, I haven't figured out how much I would really like this, but let's just say I had, or wait, I think I already did this, is a live stream template. And instead, I don't think I created a template yet. Like every single time I do the same thing. And so I'm trying to figure out how helpful this would be to have like set up the YouTube, tweet when I'm live, remove the Twitter thing so that HC Marks doesn't get confused. But for real, it's remove the Twitter part from Restream. But it's so anyone doesn't normally would like, I would be confused as well why I'm only streaming to like the 7 people on Twitter. But then you can save this as a template. Okay, let me see actually. I want this like tomorrow. If I'm going to do it, this is where I actually want to know if these templates work. Will it save it for tomorrow at 3 p.m.? View or edit. Name list live stream 2. But does that... does that mean if I'm trying to just like see if I can set these dates, because this is something you can't do in things. If I want to repeat a list, but when the list starts, tomorrow is when the first item should be due. You can't program in that stuff. That's very interesting. If it can always like go from your current moment or not. But I don't know how, like, or is it just going to say July 29th at 3 p.m. And if I make this in 2 days, it'll be out of date. Like, this is where I don't necessarily understand this feature. And to even test it, now I have to like wait 2 days or like till tomorrow to see if it, I guess I could see in 5 minutes. Maybe I don't have to literally wait till tomorrow. 3:05. Save as template. Live stream 2. Well, now it's still going to do, I don't know. This is the worst testing process I've ever done. Well, I'll figure that part out later, and I'll try to. I don't see how I could really tie into a shortcut at that point, though. I guess I could get the reminders out, but none of this new stuff. Antonio, I think it's not letting you share links. I think my moderator probably blocks those. So if you can drop that in the Discord, that's probably a good strategy. So I think even just reminders, there really isn't that a whole lot of opportunity in this current version. Let me go back again. How many folks are actually, saving your tabs to reminders is another good one. Reminders, let me just check that last, just searching. Yeah. Again, it's pretty straightforward. I need to find better examples of that. I think I'm more interested in the Safari stuff right now because that is more fun. So find tabs.
reminders. I really like the rich text versions of reminders. Those are like huge for adding, just like putting the URL into that field, and then you could do the title of the shortcut too. This is a great one, actually. So I would do the repeat item here. Come on. Shortcuts won't let me select it. Okay, let me go back. I should count that as a crash. Add the title. These are actually, I'm probably going to use this one because I just like having the rich images, and I like that reminders aren't urgent. Like, I don't need to get all my tabs and read these right away, or like I don't need to fill up my reading list with tasks that I actually have. So let's see now. Oh, that's not the correct app. Actually, you know what? Reminders has been incredibly slow, and I don't think I might not have filed it as feedback, and it might still be happening here. It like takes ages to add them, and I think that's something that's been broken for a bit. Yeah, so now those rich links are in there too, which is cool. Does look like it takes a second to pull in the data, but nice. Why does that one have, I want to get small image cards and I keep trying to get it to not do this. That's weird. All right. There's tabs there. Let's see those bookmarks again. It's still a weird one. I think it's just broken because like I don't know how I would use this except for just by doing those basic filters, and I need a little bit more than that. I'm disappointed too that I can't work with the reading list right now, because that is being able to pull those and like add them out and stuff like that into different services would be really nice. Let's double check again. I feel like that might be the last of the Safari things. They renamed the Safari popover to Show Web View as another small change, in case you're confused by that. I think that's it. Filtering articles should also work with that other tool. They didn't change anything with open URLs, did they? I still want them to force it in Safari, because sometimes it'll open a deep link when you don't want it to. I feel like that's pretty solid for now. I feel like what's always hard about this is coming up with it from the scratch is like just that first test. And then once I'm working with links in a more natural context, I'll be like, ooh, I want to save all these and put them into Revue, for example. That's like a big thing that I do with my newsletter is I add links, but they have to be added in a very specific way right now. Where is it? And so I have to like account for the header image and stuff like that. It'll just put in the URL. And so those Safari actions being broken means that I can't actually do it right now. So I'm close. Again, it is a beta, so we'll be able to figure out more in future ones, and I'll submit some of the issues from this. But I'm going to go ahead and just publish this set of shortcuts that I made just probably tonight, honestly, or I'm going to get it done tonight, so that I hate waiting on that stuff because it takes forever. But it'll all be up on my website, so you can get these and download it. And then maybe I'll do another one to build on top of it, or maybe I'll build some shortcuts first and run through them with folks. I guess just kind of let me know. And just in general, like, I think mostly I'm going to just say stream is ending here for the timestamp part, but I do just want to like ask people what they want to see more on streams like this, because I want to do a lot more now that the public beta is out. I wanted to do a lot last year, and every time I would use shortcuts, it would crash constantly. And so it was just stressful because it wasn't a good experience for viewers either. So I'm
gonna just like do open office hours and help people with their shortcuts. Maybe like do submissions ahead of time so I can pick some good ones to cover and tackle those. I mean, otherwise, like, I am working on a YouTube video about those playback destination shortcuts. Do you want to see my process of making the YouTube video and the shortcuts that I use for that? I feel like probably the shortcuts part, maybe not some of the other parts of the process. I don't know if that's too meta, but I guess I'm just going to kind of like chill here for a couple minutes and just like see if anybody else has any more questions, or I don't know, maybe I'll just start uploading these to my website. I feel like that's always kind of interesting. Let me just try it. I haven't done it live ever before, and that sounds terrifying a little bit. So I'm assuming it's going to just break. But I have this shortcut that like scrapes out from the different folders. This actually is a good test because I've been wanting, this is not going to go well because those are all half broken, but it should just iterate through each of these and put them into my Airtable. Why don't I open the Airtable out here? Dragon Dist. I'm currently figuring out for what I could use shortcuts. What is on your home screen? I feel like that's a very good way to start because you can usually find something there. Sorry, these are all just prompting me. Got this in the background. I'm going to delete that tweet that I'm live now because now I'm just sort of chilling here. Pretty sure no one's watching anyways. Still asking me questions. This is just going slow because it's trying to scrape through all these shortcuts. And I'm sorry, this part totally isn't supposed to, like, it's not clear what's going on because it's all just happening in the background. Nope. This Airtable isn't loading too. That's what I'm trying to show you as it gets put in. I've been running this shortcut on the Mac a lot more too because it doesn't do this where it takes over my entire experience. Oh my gosh. Is this asking me? I think it's iterating through a loop, and I think it's asking me on each instance of the loop, which it should only do it once. Man, I'm like overloading my Mac now in the background. Oh, that's why I'm not even in the right area. Come on, Airtable. Why are you? I assume this is working. Usually, so what's funny is it gives me notifications, but there it is working. It's asking me each time, isn't it? That's not good. Hey, thanks, Richard. Cheers. Just appreciate. I just want to hang out more and tell people because I come up with these tons and tons of shortcuts on my own, and then I'm like, what do you guys think? But I should just ask you sooner. This is my whole backend for, I put all my shortcuts. Yeah, see, it's logging them right here. It basically is looking through each of the shortcuts and identifying the different actions included. And then it's like uploading it into here. And so I can come in and be like, oh, that one was great. This one was okay. But this is where, like, I don't know. If it's a 3-star shortcut, should I just not ever even share it? I don't necessarily know, but I've done so much fanciness. Like, this is literally a link that opens the shortcut again because it uses the deep link back to it. This is on the Mac up here. Oh, I just realized I'm using the small screen. Here, you guys can actually see what I'm doing now. Here we go. This is my Airtable where I log all of my shortcuts and have it all inputted in, and then I can access it and come in, add my comments and explain it. And then when I log it again, it puts the first comment into this description field and the second comment into the notes field. And then that goes onto the website as the excerpt and stuff like that. So I've automated my whole process of sharing these shortcuts. How can I integrate this with tabs? gotta have a tie-in. Okay, I think I need to quit the iPad shortcut, because part of it is when you run it for the first time, it asks for permissions, but since it's looping, it's doing the same permission every single time. And if I just run it again, now it's technically granted the permission to that action and should be okay. Or like maybe it is working with something new. Also, I can see I've already gotten through these ones. So this is like how I use shortcuts. This is part of it. Is I'm currently publishing I'm doing data entry while I'm talking to you, and I just had to click those things. I mean, like, obviously, if I was doing field by field, I would be entering it, but doing data entry into a web form or something like that can be a really cool use of shortcuts. Thanks, Richard. Cheers again. Also, yeah, anybody look on my website for the Shortcuts user group Discord and join in and leave comments about what you want to see on stream or what you want help with, and I can start covering them in here more, because I just want to do this a lot more. I feel like all of these sessions, there's just so much to build with shortcuts, and it takes people so long to figure this out themselves, and like I'm figuring it out too in real time with people, so we can kind of skip that learning curve together. I gotta get this camera thing. I want it to be, I don't know why, I want to look towards my stuff, not away from it, but my monitor's over here. I think if I actually oh no. That's my problem with Restream right now, is I'm constantly moving the stuff out of the way. Okay, I can actually keep it here, and it doesn't get in the way. Yeah, thanks, Zabdiel. So my other, let me just see. That is going in. Doing things like this, like adding this proper color, then gives it these hex codes associated with it. That's another fun thing. It's like I have all my nice designs on my website automated as well. Cheers. All right, I'm going to clean those up after stream, but I appreciate everybody tuning in and hanging out. And yeah, let's do this again soon. I'll always post stream announcements in the Discord too. I want to send them to members over email, but I'm not going to do it every time just because I don't want to send people too many emails. But yeah, you can also check out my newsletter and stay up with shortcuts. I've got new newsletters every Sunday. I'll skip a couple of weeks because I still got to be a human, but yeah. Cool. Thanks everybody for tuning in. And yeah, I love it. Oops, wrong stream. Got the 500 shortcuts mainly because of me. That's you'll got to get the stream. You know what? Okay, before I go, let me do one more. The folder groups. If you have lots of folders, this is an action that they added in. Okay, wait. That shortcut was still going. They just added the ability to add like these different specific folders, like all those basic ones, but I made a shortcut to open my shortcuts, and I made lots of them because I have lots of them. And so like if you have multiple groups of folders, put them inside a menu and then use the open folder action. And then just from one shortcut, you can go in and get like this whole folder list is a pain in the butt to scroll through. And so this can just take me right there, which is awesome. I love that too. All right, now I'm actually going to leave. But yeah, as always, send me your requests and stuff, and I'll try to get to them on stream. All right, folks, I'll talk to you later. Have a good one.